Okay. All right. Welcome to our Wow Wednesday testimonial call. And normally our hosts are Sheila Day, Dr. Sheila Day, and Tammy Ward, but they're unable to make it. So today it's going to be me and my wonderful co-host, Sandy. So I'll just do a little quick introduction for myself. My name is Shelley Lewis, and I've been with Solex for about 7 months. I'm just loving this journey. It's been amazing. I'm a certified health coach, and I'm also a mom of two young adults, young adult sons who have autism. And so we've just been seeing some amazing things going on with them and even myself. So I'm going to toss it over to Sandy and let her do a little short introduction.
Okay, thank you, Shelley. I'm Sandy Harvey, and I live in North Alabama, and I'm a mom to four, sort of adult. My youngest is 20, he's in college. I am also a naturopathic doctor. I think Sheila and I met through Trinity. That's kind of where we went through school. And I started in February with AO Scan. And so it's been a wonderful journey, and it's exciting because I'm starting to see, friends and colleagues and people, joining in and coming on board, and that's really exciting because it's fun to share, like this testimonies, because there's a lot of things you just don't know until you hear somebody else say, hey, I did this, and it was amazing, and you're like, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. So I love the opportunity to do that on these calls.
So yeah, I've heard some really great testimonies on this call, but that's what we're here for, is to share our testimonials on our products from the Solex. And they have so many amazing tools in that we can help our bodies. And we're gonna go ahead and do a disclaimer first. And we're here, the statements that we have that are here tonight being shared have not been evaluated by the FDA. The products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And if you are sick, please consult with your healthcare provider. And we're super excited to have you here. So let's go ahead and get started with the first person who wants to get us going.
Kristen?
Kristen?
Hi, hit unmute. Okay, so something really cool happened today, and well, it's been going on, but I've been using the Cephi playlist on my house because I'm trying to sell my house. Okay, so I made a playlist and Happy Healthy Home and did a really cool playlist, and every time I had a showing, I hit that playlist, okay, and let it one away and let the frequencies work. And we got an offer and signed a sales agreement today. So very excited. So it's finally happening. And it's been about 5 months, but still, finally it's going on. So that's so those Cephis are working.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I'll think of something else in a minute because I've been doing a lot of stuff since I don't have customers. It's just me and my family that are using this, and we're just learning, and because we want to be healthy and happy ourselves, and we've been in the supplement industry and done a zillion supplements, but still we're still having some pain, we're still having some symptoms, and this is a much nicer avenue to be able to just run the easy scan and then imprint the sugar pellets and the water and take the supplements requested, suggested. And I think I've saved money doing it that way. And I am feeling better. Stuff is working good. So that's my testimony for right now.
Wow. That's fantastic. I love to hear that because I think it's important for people to know that it's not just for practitioners or people who work with clients. I mean, everybody really needs this. And like you said, I mean, whether it's you're trying to sell your house and you're doing the SEPI, or it's your health, because a lot of us come in, thinking about it for our health. But I mean, wow. And I've got a testimony I'm going to share a little bit later that's right in line with that. So that's amazing. And I think like the more our bodies come into balance, the more that the supplements and other things that we're using, we're able to utilize those more efficiently. So a lot of times we need less of those because of that. So I think that's fantastic.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
Okay, so does anybody else have anything they want to go ahead and share? Do you want to share one of yours, Sandy, that you had prepared?
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Tamara, were you trying to come on?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
am muted.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Just real quick, I had a client, I'm a hairstylist and massage therapist, and I had a client come in Saturday to the salon, and she walked in and she didn't look well. She said, I don't know, we were at a Christmas party last night. I don't know if I got food poisoning or something, and I'm just not vomiting, diarrhea. I hesitated on coming, then I felt better, and then once I got moving, and I'm feeling a little dizzy. So I created a profile for her really quickly. I went into homeopathics and I typed in nausea, or did I do food? I did a bunch of different things, and I imprinted some pellets, and did that all while she was processing her hair color, and went to rinse her hair. So within 30 minutes, went back to the my station, started working on her hair, and her face color, I noticed first. I didn't say anything, but I noticed her face color get a little brighter, went from really pale to some redness to it. And she was really quiet the whole start of the appointment. And then all of a sudden she just started, and then she looks at me, she goes, I think I'm feeling better. And I'm like, wow. I noticed your color changed. You're talking a little bit more. She goes, I still feel a little dizzy, but my nausea went away. And I'm like, bonus. So I sent her home with some more pellets and with a Cephi dot. And I continued to, I told her I'd optimize throughout the day. And in the evening, I said, go home, take a nap. And I'll check in on you later. And she's like, I'm doing a lot better. The dizziness is still there. So I just kept optimizing. And the next day she's like, I checked in with her. She's like, oh, I just went for a hike.
Wow.
It's like, so whatever you did, I said, and her husband also wasn't feeling well. And she said, I'm surprised your husband was like, hey, can I get some of what you have? But that was pretty cool to watch that change happen within like 30 minutes of, just doing the initial scan and doing the homeopathy pellets. And I noticed it. And like I said, I wasn't going to say anything to her. I was just waiting for her to be like, wonder if she's noticing. So that was pretty cool to be a part of.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. It's when things happen that quickly, I mean, we know that they don't always happen that quickly, but when they do, it is like borderline miraculous.
Yeah.
And people are like, whoa, it's hard to wrap your brain around it, but it's so incredible. And that's why it's so easy to get excited about this. This is what I say. It's just so easy to get excited about it. When somebody first joins, and they're like, well, they want to maybe try to get 3 people and offset that. I'm like, I'm telling you, once you start using this and you get excited about it and you see all it can do, it really flows so naturally because you genuinely are excited about what it can do. So to me, that makes it really easy to share.
Right, absolutely. I found the same thing. I was like, right from the get-go, I was really excited about it and started sharing it right away because it was so amazing the things that we were seeing.
Yeah. And I haven't heard very much about your story. You said you have two children with autism.
Yep, they're 33 and 22 now. And
Wow.
both boys, completely opposite ends of the spectrum. high functioning, nonverbal, but we are seeing such an amazing, such amazing things with them. I'm really excited. And I don't remember who it was last week, but they recommended the flowers and gave me a little emergency playlist. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Blessing. Oh my gosh, my son is doing amazing with it. I've been able to diffuse about 4 meltdowns with it.
Wow.
So I'm so excited with it. Every time he just goes, I'm like, flowers, and I'm like putting it on, and it just calms them instantly.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've been struggling with, just trying to contain the meltdowns, and he can go from 0 to 100 in a split second, and
Mhm.
it's usually just a frustration of his that he's not in control,
Right.
with being nonverbal. So,
Wow.
and my other son, he's doing amazing with just a playlist.
Mhm.
It's like it's crazy. It's just, I've done the scans on him, but he doesn't react as well to the scans as he does just a playlist. One of the ones Tammy shared for autism, and that was great. I mean, I just play that every day for him, and his focus is like laser sharp now.
Wow. Isn't it amazing how like just that would be enough right there. Like if that was all that it did, like that would be enough to like rock your world.
Oh, it has
Um,
rocked my world. And I'm like, Kristen, I'm like, we've done so many things, and are we better? Yeah, we've gotten better each time we've done something on our journey, but nothing like what this has done for us. And
wow.
so it's been crazy. It's really just been like, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I have it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. That I mean, that gets me really excited because just think about all the other parents out there, and the struggles and most of them don't know. Like they don't know unless we share it. And that's why the testimonies are so great. And just, being able to come alongside people when they're going through something and say, hey, I found something that really works. And when you're going through something and you're feeling so desperate, something that can even make a small shift can change your world, but something that can make really big shifts. I mean, it really gives you so much hope. So that's fantastic.
And the really cool thing is too, is that it's so non-invasive, especially
Right.
for our kids who struggle with sensories and tastes and all the different things. It's like, it's great because it's so non-invasive. You're not fighting for them to swallow this capsule or drink this drink, and they can't take the taste, and this it's great. I don't even get my younger son's voice. I just do the intentions like we've talked about in the past, and
Right.
it's amazing because he hears those tones and he reacts to them.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Tamara, you said you put in the chat, you put the flowers. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm really loving these Australian bush flowers too. I don't know how many other people are, but they're coming up. They're coming up a lot. And I was familiar with them. I'd worked with those a little bit. Mostly I'd use Bach and some other things, but I knew a little bit about the Australian bush flowers, but there are a lot of them and they're really amazing. So those have been coming up a good bit for me. And they've been really spot on. So I'm excited about that addition.
Hey,
Well,
who else has a testimonial they want to share?
I would love for my friend Lori, if she's ready now. Whiskers.
Hey, are you on mute?
Yeah, we got to unmute you. Let me see if I can see here.
There, I got it.
There you go. I was looking for you to see if I could unmute you.
I'm on a new phone and and I had to download Zoom and it wasn't cooperating with me. So I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm a newbie. I just got my kit this week, but
Congratulations.
the reason, well, I had heard about AO a while back, and I am a naturopath, and I heard it from another naturopath, but I felt like I wasn't being, maybe there wasn't enough information for me to make that decision. And so I went to a retreat with Sandy, and I got a headache, a really bad headache. It's one of those ones that lasts for 3 days, and I vomit, and I mean, I just want to shoot myself kind of headaches. And everyone at the retreat had an AO scan except me. Everyone. So they all, anyway, one of the girls put me on her phone and played something for headaches, and it went away. And it's the first time it's ever done that. Like within what, 10-15 minutes, it was gone. And so it was one of those ones where I wouldn't have been able to drive. I would have been stuck there for 3 days. So anyway, I ended up driving home, and about halfway home, it started coming back. So I contacted her, and she was on her drive home to Texas, and I was on my way to Indiana, and she ran it again and it went away. And honestly, I've had 2 small headaches try to come on, and I used that 72-hour pass. That was gold for me.
Yeah.
That was the clincher. I'm like, I cannot do without this thing, because if it can get rid of a headache like that, I have to have it. And I didn't get it in time by the time the second headache came. So I asked for another 72-hour pass, and she gave it to me, and I knew I couldn't do without it. So I haven't had a headache since, actually. I mean, they're gone, which is amazing. And I was getting them every 2 or 3 days. So
Wow. Wow. I mean, just that right there, that's what I'm talking about. Like when you know a headache is going to knock you out for 2 or 3 days, like, and you're going to miss, think about like, if you see clients, you can't see clients, you can't, and then, not to mention just how miserable you feel. And hey, I'm going to lose 3 days because of this. And if it was just that one thing, think about how that would just, again, rock your world. But it's so much more than that. But one shift like that can make such a difference.
and now we are working on my husband. He has end-stage liver disease, and which is cirrhosis of the liver from a genetic disorder. And we just got the call today that most likely they're going to put him on the transplant list, but he has a couple of other tests, and he can go off the list if he does well. So we're going to do everything that we possibly can. And there's a playlist in there for cirrhosis of the liver. So we'll keep posted on that.
Yeah. And I remember when you got home and before you even had your Alpha 3 pass, but we ran some very specific things for you that were helping you with focus, and I remember you gave me this incredible testimony about how you just had so much clarity, and you were like, you were cleaning your house and you were getting all these things done. And you're like, I haven't felt like this since I was in my 20s. And I was like,
well, and I say that because I have a brain injury, and with the brain injury, it makes it really difficult for me to focus and concentrate a lot of times. And so when I felt like that, that was amazing, because everything is difficult for me. It may not seem like it, I don't act like it, but it takes a ton of extra effort to get through the brain hiccups that I have. And so that day, and I had forgotten about that. I'm going to have to ask you which one. I'll have to run that one every day.
yeah. That was amazing. It really was. And then there was another one that you mentioned about your grandson, and I can't remember all of that, but you guys imprinted some
imprinted the globules with all of the cell salts. They made a whole kit of cell salts in large bottles. It was like $300 worth of cell salts, and I gave them to her. And then we muscle tested to see which ones he needed too, because it doesn't come up on the scan as far as I know, unless there's another way of doing it. But that was amazing for me because I was able, oh, we had strep throat. There's a strep throat remedy in there, and I imprinted the whole strep throat. And yeah, he grabbed a hold of them. He calls them beans, and he grabbed a hold of them, and his mom was rocking him to sleep, and that kid would not let go of him. He's like, my beans. He had like 101-degree fever, and he was miserable, but he knew he needed his beans. So
That is so sweet.
yeah.
That's so sweet. Thank you for sharing. I'm super excited about all the potential ways that this is going to be a blessing to you and your family, and then your clients, you know, because I know you work with a lot of people who have some serious challenges. And so just to see the potential of it, and even like what Lori was saying, we were at a retreat, and like she said, almost everybody there had the AO scan, which that was really fun to be all together like that, and to talk to different people. So the more people that start using it, and the more, you know, you're able to kind of collaborate with people like this. I mean, it's really exciting. So thank you for sharing, Lori. That was awesome.
Okay, thank you, Tamara, for putting that list in. And that is the list that I used. I wasn't sure if you were the one that shared it last time or not, but that is the list. Thank you. It has been a blessing.
Awesome.
Okay, do we have anybody else that wants to give a little testimony? Can be as little or as big.
Hi. Can I tell you, this scanner blows my mind. Okay, it just really does. Because when I do my easy scan, like right after Thanksgiving, I had a 16-pound turkey, but only 4 people for dinner. So I had a lot of leftovers, and we were eating turkey for about 4 or 5 days on and off, you know, with the leftovers. And like after the 4th day, turkey came on like my list, like don't eat turkey. Okay, you've had enough. Same thing happened when I peeled a million apples for applesauce and apple pies. And the next day, apples were on the list. Don't take apples, no more apples. And that just amazes me. That's so cool. That's all. That's it. I think it just blows my mind.
Yeah. Those are really great. I mean, it's great to share those kind of things, you know, because sometimes it's just those little everyday things that come up, and you're like, wow, like it's tracking with me. I know one day I had a bunch of projects I needed to work on, and you know, I was having a hard time getting motivated to do them. You know, sometimes you get overwhelmed when you look at so many things. And this was one of the Australian bush flowers that came up, and I'm not even familiar. I'd never heard of it, but it was totally about procrastination, you know, overwhelm, you know, all of that. It was so like, it was totally reading my mail. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I love also, I'll just mention this. I love to, you know, imprint things, and I like to do the ultimate emotions, you know, which are my understanding is all the Bach flowers. And so I got this one at the convention. This is the rose quartz bracelet, which I love. They introduced this one, I think, at in September. Oh, you got yours on? I love it. I love it, because I love rose quartz anyway. But so for some reason, I really like to imprint the ultimate emotions in this one. You know, I mean, I could imprint it in anything, but it just feels right with this one for some reason. So I do that one a lot. And I like to do the trace mineral one. I mean, you know, you just start getting kind of some of your favorites that you like. Those are just a couple that I like to imprint too.
And Sandy, when you do the imprint, how long does it last on the bracelet?
I mean, I've heard them say 3 days is kind of an average, but you know, I think that can depend. Usually within 3 days, I'm ready to change something anyway. You
Okay.
know, Yeah, so that's kind of how I do it.
And I like doing like when I do the easy scan and it brings up some of the things that you can imprint in water and stuff. I do
Yeah.
those a lot too. So
Right.
that's really fun to do. I do that for both the boys and myself.
Mhm. Yeah, I do that too. I actually keep a little, it's basically a little shot glass.
Mhm.
And I literally just keep that by my bed, and I keep a bottle of water, and I just put the water in that little shot glass. And as soon as I do the easy scan, and that comes up, I put that little glass on there and imprint. Like that's part of my daily routine. When I get up, I have it right there, and I do that usually before I even get out of bed, because, sometimes once you get busy, you start doing things, and then it's like, so I'm like, if I go ahead and put it into my day right off, it just seems to it seems to be the best way for me to do it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I do too. I like to do it first thing in the morning, and I just like to have those shot glasses. We always laugh. We're like, okay, we're gonna do shots of water.
Right. Yeah. Was somebody else have their hand up or was going to speak? Thought I saw somebody.
I'll go again.
Okay.
I am in Dave and Becky's Money Blocks group, and what I've been doing lately with the flowers is they'll send us an affirmation, and when I say that affirmation out loud, I scan in under flowers and see what emotion and flower comes up. So it's been quite interesting through the last 3 days I've done that. The one day I did it and I was working through a bunch of stuff, and I kept rescanning when it would let me. So I made a playlist. So that night I had a playlist going for myself to help, continue the process of the emotions that came up. So that was kind of cool to play with the flowers, and all of them were the new Australian bush flowers. Pawpaw was one, and
Yeah.
so that was fun to play with. So if anybody's ever working on something or anything, it's interesting if you can even, or chakras, or, you're working on something, you could do flowers, you could do chakra, you could do affirmation, and scan and see what comes up, and then create that playlist. So that might be helpful for someone, little added addition to, support what you're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's actually a really great idea. I hadn't thought of that. So yeah, I think doing those groups, there's, you learn, obviously the frequencies themselves are great, but you're also learning so many, really interesting ways to do things that you may have never thought of.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's wonderful. And along with that one, I wanted to share this because she gave me permission, and I wanted to, one of my friends and team members who couldn't be on here tonight, we were chatting about something else, and I told her about the call, and she goes, "Oh, I have to teach a class tonight." She goes, "But I would love to share, kind of what's going on." And so she said that she had started doing an abundance playlist. Okay. And now I've never met her in person. I don't know a lot about, like her life and what else going on with her. But I know when she got the scanner, she jumped in. Like she just jumped in and started trying all kinds of different things. But when she did the abundance playlist, and she did share it with me, so I'll try to find a way to share it with you guys. But she said the first thing that happened right after I started this playlist, she said the past 2 years since I started a business, I owed over $6,000 for taxes. I didn't do anything different this year other than SEPI. And this year I received 10,000 back. She said, no one really knows why, and I'm not questioning it. But anyway, she said, then about 2 weeks later, she logged in to check some things with a student loan. And she said her balance, which would have been quite high, was $0. Yes. And then she said the next thing that happened, she said she called her car dealer because she had a recall that showed up. She said, so they told me I had 3 recalls actually, but one I had paid for 6 months before the recall came out. So they would be sending me $500. There we go. And then she said, in July, I had my highest ever income month for my side job. And she said, I made more in my side hustle than I did in my full-time job. She said there were several other things, but as far as abundance, she said, like, this has blown her mind since she started doing this with Seppi. She said that she does that success playlist, and that she uses the list daily. Oh, she said that her pool team won the playoffs with the success playlist and came from way behind, and that she uses those. She goes, it's actually been unreal. Feel free to share as much as you want. So, oh, this one was great. I got to share this part too. She said, I would also add that during this time, since I was receiving so much, I held 2 different charity events and was able to raise over $5,000 for a local child who was battling cancer and a local children's recover charity. She said, I fully believe that the more you give, the more you receive. And I think it's really important to add that because I really do think it made a difference, I will gladly share my playlist. And so she did send that to me. She said she set up her bank accounts as a group and sent it the list. She said, I finally stopped asking how it was all happening and just believed that it could. Just,
That is
wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to share the playlist. I think that would be very fun.
Yeah. It was amazing. I'll see if I can figure out how to do that. Oh, Carolyn.
Yes, how I would love to see that playlist. I would love
Yeah.
to. So how are you going to share it?
I don't know how to take myself off of here and share it, but let me see if I can figure out how to do it.
Can we just share it in the group on Facebook?
Definitely can share it in the group.
After we get off, I think then everybody will see it
Yeah.
and it'll be great.
Yeah, I can do that. You know,
Okay,
like
thank you.
I'm not confident enough that I won't like break something if I try to go.
Thank you. That's just amazing.
Oh, it was just incredible. And if we have time, I'll share a couple of others, but that was the abundance one that I thought was awesome. I mean, she literally just shared those with me today.
Wow. Kristen, did you have something else you wanted to say?
I wanted to ask if Whiskers could share her playlist for the headaches on the list on our chat group.
Yes, I can do that. In fact, one of them was the the acne playlist, and it got rid of the headache. It was amazing.
Well, okay,
That's
great.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's weird but interesting. If it works, it works. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I noticed my face broke out with a headache, so I thought I'd try the acne, and
Mhm.
it was actually more helpful than the headache playlist.
Yeah. It's probably something hormonal that was creating the acne that was creating the headache or
It didn't muscle test as hormonal.
oh really?
Yeah, I think it was more digestive.
Okay.
But
It's just so funny though. It doesn't matter, but we do kind of want to know, like, how did that work? But it just worked.
and it was by happenstance. So there is no mistake that our body actually knows what we need. So we don't necessarily have to hit the scan button. We just have to pay attention to what we're drawn toward.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Okay, so anybody else have anything? Sandy, did you want to do another one of the ones you wanted to share?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying not to be a share warrior. That's what we used to call it.
Well, if
But
anybody has anything, raise your hand or wave or something.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep an eye out for all of that. But
Yeah. Oh, Lori's got something else.
I didn't know if anybody's trying this on their pets, but since I got this, I've been working on everybody, like everybody under the sun, just clients and cats and my mom's cats and my cat. And my cat is older and she's gotten very aggressive. She's been she keeps touching me. She's got little needles that come out and go to my leg, and she's quite annoying. And so I decided to go ahead and put her on there, and I wanted to see if it really worked. And really watching on the vital scan, it comes up with the chakras and it describes the chakras differently for the cats. They have more chakras than we do. I didn't know that, but all of hers that were saying she was aggressive were off the chart. And I ran just the optimization, and that cat literally, she would go like that on her paw, and she calmed down immediately, laid down and slept for I don't know how long. It was amazing. She's been driving me nuts, and she's right here right now.
Oh,
She's just chill. But yeah, I've been doing it every day for her because she looks like she's really irritated. But just the optimization is working on that.
wow. That's incredible. I love that with the animals because that was another one that I was going to share of Lauren's, because when she first got in, like I said, she just jumped in. Like she's just like, I figured it out as she goes. But she posted this in the AO Scan official group. Like you can go back and look at the pictures and everything. But right after she got it, she said, I just started using the AO scanner, but had to share my first success. She said, my dog is terrified of thunderstorms, typically panting and shaking, and needs to be sitting on top of me while it's storming. But this morning we had a big storm coming, so I used Seppi to send him homeopathy for fear and thunderstorms. She said he was cool as a cucumber through the entire storm. She said, I can't believe it, and I'm so excited to see what I can do for others and myself with this amazing tool. This is literally right after she got it. And I'm like, well, you know, animals don't, like, if you try to think, well, it's all in somebody's head, well, tell a dog that, tell a cat that. I mean,
Right, exactly. Well, that's how I look at it with my son who's nonverbal.
exactly.
He's not gonna like not, I mean, it's all behaviors. Everything that we do with him is all behaviors and watching his expressions and all of that. And so that's exactly it too. I was like, well, if he thinks it's good, it must be good because so I must do it too, or something like that. Cause like the water, I shared that last time, it was like the water with the after putting the wand with doing the wand with the water, he just has this he loves it. He loves it. He can't get enough of the water. It's so
That's great.
I just go, wow. So I keep our jugs full all the time with structured water.
Wow, you motivated me to do that again. I got out of the habit, but I love this infinity wand. I'm telling you, I had the other one and it was good and I used it, but this one is next level. You can just feel it when you turn it on. You can feel it when you turn it on. It feels different. There's something about it. It feels smoother. It feels, I don't know, there's something about it. It's just, it's awesome. And because I already had one, I was like, oh, do I need to get this? I already have one, but not even the same. It's so much better. And that's great that you're seeing such a difference with the structured water. That's incredible. Because I don't know that a lot of people really realize how much a difference that can make.
Yeah, I figured if he thinks it's something's good about it, it must be good. So we should all drink it. So that's kind of where we are. So
Yeah.
Tina has something she wants to share. Go ahead, Tina.
Good.
I got to unmute herself.
There, I got it. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Actually, I was going to share about my dog.
Oh.
She is going to be 13 years old next month. and she is feisty. She is the princess. Anyway, she's had seizures for most of her entire life and's been on medication for it. She's still on it. I haven't taken her off of it. But this thing about her is like we can't take her to be groomed. It's got to be a different groomer because she's had seizures there also. The vet, we went from going into the front door to the side door to the back door to the garage, and that'll work for a few days and then has another seizure. So anyways, day after Thanksgiving, we wanted to get her groomed and took her in, and we totally went to a totally different place. And so I scanned her and played the tones all the way there. It was like a 20-minute drive. So played her tones all the way there. And she's under me, under pet. She doesn't have her own profile yet. So maintain, she really didn't bark hardly at all, but she really doesn't anyways. But she ended up being really calm throughout the whole process. My son stayed in the room with her while she was getting groomed. I can't because of my allergies. And as I waited in the waiting room, I kept optimizing and optimizing and optimizing. And then I played anxiety. And then, what was it? It's under the reach, the peace and calm or something like that. I don't remember what they are in that section there. I just kind of randomly play them like for 15 minutes or so because it was a 2-hour appointment. And she was awesome. No,
Wow.
I mean, I sent a message to my son. It's like, oh my gosh, is she in there diaping? Just, nope, that's the dog across the hall. She kind of yelped because she has a sensitive on her back hips with arthritis.
Mm.
She kind of yelped a little bit when she was getting bathed, but other than that, she was golden.
Wow. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that's one of those times when you go like when you know a dog's or a cat's or any pet's regular behavior and you see that sort of transformation, you're like, there's no way that is some sort of coincidence. I mean, because you know what they normally do, and then you see that flip, and it's just there's no denying that.
And she typically goes around the house, and because of the arthritis in her back, she drags her back, both of them, one more than the other one, but both of them, she drags them. And when she is drinking, we bought a raised for food, whatever, I'm not sure what you call it, to keep the food in. And what she does is kind of really like drag her butt down. But since I've been using the scanner on her, and you can tell when I don't. There's a couple times it's like I'm trying to get everybody else scanned, I forget about our dogs. And I get back on there, start scanning them again, and she is pouncing, literally pouncing back and forth, making rounds as if she's, I don't know, 6 again.
Wow. That's
But
incredible.
I've tried to videotape it a few times just so I can post it. But yeah, she's been amazing. She is our challenge dog.
Wow. I mean, just think of the lengths that people go to with their dogs just to get a little bit of improvement. We're big dog lovers here and cats. I mean, like I always joke and say our house must have a give me your tired before you're hungry because they all end up here. And they know we're going to take them in. They just arrive like, well, we're home. And, we just love them and take care of them. But, sometimes they come here with their own issues and the things that we do just to get like a little improvement sometimes, but to get that kind of dramatic improvement that's incredible. I see somebody with a really cute hat. I love that. That's so cute. I can't hear you. You need to unmute. We want to hear what you. That's so cute.
I was on mute, so I kept coming in and out, and it kept kicking me out, and I keep coming in, and I'm
Oh,
just gonna listen to what I can catch, and so thank you.
okay. We're glad you're here. I believe we're recording it. So if you miss any, you can go back and we'll post a
When I
recording.
come back in, when I come in, it says it's recording, so I would think so.
Okay. Well, we'll just get you popping in and out. And when you watch the recording,
Yeah.
you see yourself pop in and out.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Who else? I know you guys have something else you want to share.
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll share a couple things.
Okay.
First of all, Tina, do you have Cepheid dots? And if you do, imprint a Cepheid dot and put it on your dog's collar and see what that does instead of optimizing every 10 minutes or 30 minutes. Give yourself a little break. We've used Cepheid dots in the past and put them on our dog's collar, especially when, a storm's coming or something like that. And it just kind of calms them down. So a couple different ways you can do that. Now, remember, we've had the scanner long enough to not have the pet version of it. So we just scan them as humans. You can put their own profile in as a human and still scan them. It doesn't matter at this point. So that's a couple little tidbits of information that some people that are new to the scanner wouldn't think about. But let's see. We're 4 days into our Sugar Busters group that we run, and the second day in, somebody's sugar went from 175 to 120 in a matter of 3 days. So,
Wow.
for those of you that do have type 2 diabetics or even type 1 diabetics, figure out them playlists. You can contact me directly. I'll help you out with some of the playlists that we use for our Sugar Busters group. But yeah, it's very strange how these frequencies work, and everybody's different, obviously, with the healing journey that everybody goes through. Some people get really irritated with certain frequencies, so you want to make sure that if you're playing a frequency for somebody for the first time, you, number one, let them know that you're playing frequencies. Don't do it without them knowing, because that's not too good. But sometimes it may affect me different than it affects other people. So you want to at least let them know, hey, I'm playing this. It's a little strong. Let me know if you do get a headache. Or for me, my nose always runs whenever I'm in the Vegas group, because for some reason, that's the way it works for me. I always get stuffy when I'm running the Vegas playlist. So other than that, I don't have too much other than, a couple testimonials on sugar levels have been really consistent in our Sugar Busters group. So
That's awesome.
Can I say something real quick? Hi, Dave. Because I was listening, I thought maybe it was just about pets. So I was listening, I kept hearing about pets and hearing about pets. But since Dave said something that wasn't necessarily about pets, then I'm going to say something. So is it geared towards pets, or can I say something else?
Oh,
whatever you want.
So because Dave, you reminded me, I wasn't going to say this. So Saturday, I was assisting someone and they were talking about they were diagnosed with Lyme's. And so I was sharing information about Nadia and Becky so that they could have someone who's more experienced with something that they're personally addressing. And so I sent Nadia a message, and I don't think I sent one to Becky, but I was like, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'll be danged if my next playlist didn't have Lyme on there. My quick scan.
Nice.
So I'm like, you got to be really aware and do your due diligence and keep yourself clean, because I know I'm a little bit more on the sensitive side. And that was just an affirmation for me that even with all the stuff I do and things like that, that I'm going to be that much more aware to, it's real.
That's so true. That is so true. I can tell when I travel, like my scans are very different when I travel, like being around so many people and airports and all that. And I'll run a scan and it'll be like things that never come up. for me will come up on the scan. And I know it's just things like you. I really do try to be very careful, but you're just, when you're around so much, there's going to be things that, you can end up picking up. So, yeah, a reminder to shield ourselves. And I know Lori and I talked about that too, just doing that clearing and shielding and how important that is. Even like you can notice that certain people you have conversations with, and then you do scans, and then things will come up and you're like, you really don't sometimes realize how much even interacting with certain people is affecting you. But then you can start to see it and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I had a lady at my place of employ, and I was running my scan, and I was like, that doesn't seem like me. That doesn't look like me. And she's very tall, and I'm a little bit on the shorter side. And she's looking at the scan, and she says, "Oh, that's all me."
Wow.
I was like, okay, because I knew that wasn't me. So even whether you know them or talk to them or just around them, be aware sometimes that it's not your stuff. But so I'm kind of putting into place this clearing and shielding even more so.
Right.
Because things are changing so much and basically adjusting the way I'm addressing things. So I'm obviously going to kick up that, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. If I'm going to put it like before and after everything I do. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm definitely going to kick up my program in regards to that.
Yeah, I think it's important to try to include those on the playlist. Just if there's playlists that you run, keeping that clearing and shielding as part of the playlist, or at least I do that, so that I make sure that that's included.
Yep, I have it in all my playlists. And I was like, so even with that, I'm like, okay, so even with that, I'm going to kick it up a notch. And,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so important. Like, yeah, we are all connected, but we're all connected. So it can work a lot of different ways when we're all connected. So I have a friend that describes it as, trying to keep your frequency. She's like, stay above the snake line. Have you guys ever heard that? Because like a lot of the creepy crawly things are in the low vibrations. Like you think the spiders and the snakes and the stuff like, in the jungle. But she's like, just trying to really work to keep your vibration above the snake line, like in the mountains. And I don't know, that's just a visual that stayed with me, because I can kind of feel sometimes if my frequencies, kind of like, oh, I'm getting down there below the snake line. Work on getting things back up here, because you're just more prone to pick up things, I think, when your vibration starts getting lower like that. So that's just a visual that sticks with me.
Yeah, it's more like the expression like begets like.
Yeah.
Sharon wants to say something.
Hey, Sharon.
About 4 more minutes.
I just need a little clarification there. Are you saying that you're doing a scan on yourself and you're picking up somebody else's issues?
Correct.
Okay, so how are you going to diagnose yourself? Or how do you come up with a protocol for yourself?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to know yourself. I mean, I knew that about myself, and I knew that I had that conversation, and I reached out to Nadia just to let her know that I, kind of, so I knew that's exactly what it was. So you have to know yourself so that when something stands out, that, like I said, the other one I was running, it didn't sound like me at all when I was reading it. I was like, is this thing broken? I mean, because it was so not me. And then the lady said, oh, that's all me. And I was like, oh, well, at least you know that it works. She says, man, you really do. I was like thinking to myself, yeah, that's why I can't hang around you. But, just keeping it real. So yes, I just knew myself, and I knew that has not been on my scans, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not like something that I'd seen before and it's mine. I knew immediately that it was not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Lauren's description. I believe it's Lauren that talks about that. You know, like if you test the water in like a rushing stream, you know, or a creek, and you test that water, like you can have all kinds of random things that would come up that may not come up again, you know. But if you keep testing the water and you see things that continue to show up, then you know that there's something upstream, you know, that you need to deal with. So I look at things that we're picking up sometimes from other people or places or whatever. There may be some random things that just show up that are not mine. Like you just tested the water at a certain point and that, but it doesn't mean it's going to have to stay there. And the more you scan, I believe the way you described it is the more you scan, the more you kind of realize there are certain things that come up. You kind of get an idea what your scans normally kind of look like. But then all of a sudden, like when I travel, all these things come up. I'm like, whoa, where in the world is that coming from? That's not normally something I see. And I know that I've picked up things from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do you have something on that, Lori?
You know,
I did a scan on my 18-month-old grandson, and it was the body systems that comes up with all the emotions for everything. And I was amazed at the list of things that was on that emotion part of it, that I knew that he was probably picking up from different people that he was around because of the issues that were coming up. So I think it's really important. What I got out of this is to also run clearing for him on a daily basis, and then imprint. I don't know what somebody said. If you imprint something, how long does it last? Is it something that he can wear on a daily basis? Even if so, I don't even know what I would put on him, or just run the scan daily.
I mean, put him in his underwear. His underwear. Put his underwear on there. That way you don't have jewelry or anything. If you want. I mean, it's my friend's kid wears a necklace, but you can put clothes on there.
Interesting. Well, he has a diaper, so
That's
multiple
put a
diapers
diaper
a
on there.
day.
Get a new frequency when you change the diaper. You know, you just change it out with a new frequency. Yeah.
Or maybe like an
Sock?
undershirt or like a onesie or something like that. Put it on.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, Deb said 4 to 5 days with her. Yeah, I think that's kind of the range. I hear 3 or 4 days. You know, generally you're probably going to want to change it by then anyway to something else.
If it's clothing, yeah, it'll be changed
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, or even with my bracelet, you know, I'll just have a feeling like I usually keep 3, you know, and I'll have different things that I'll put on these. But and then I also have the ring. If you don't have those, that's convenient. I like being able to imprint on the. I don't have to. I got that at the Day of Discovery. So these are convenient, you know. And then they've got the little bracelets that kids really like too. This is not one of theirs. This is a different one, but anyway, that's just some ideas for kids, you know, that you can do.
okay, well, it is 8:31, so we're gonna wrap this up
Wow.
so we can jump over to the Solex call. I know it went fast.
It went so fast. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so I want to thank everyone for coming on and supporting
thank
all
you.
of us, and you know, supporting us and sharing all your testimony. So, all right, well,
Yeah.
thank you and have a good night.
Bye guys. Bye.